Well, my name is Aruna Sesay, and I do music, but as of the moment, I don't do music as much. So my stage name is Tyrone the Prince, and I am currently based in the UK, and then I work for the National Health Service, which is the NHS, and then basically I've been there for 10 years. At the moment, I am running Airbnb mainly in the Gambia, where I have several properties, and then I'm running tourist Airbnb there. And I can say it's been quite successful for the past 3 to 4 years that I've been running it. The only problem I had is with the pandemic the past few years. So we're still trying to pick up. So at the moment, I'm into like a bit of, I could say, estate, buying land, sort of land, and then looking to resell them to make a little bit of profit in Gambia and Sierra Leone.
Hey, it's killing it. And today on Diversified Game, I got to tell you, I'm going to brag on this guy a little bit because we were at Lagunda with the family, just eating. This gentleman and his friend were next door. And for those Americans who don't understand, when you start talking to somebody and they're eating next to you, you come and say, join the table. Wherever you are in the world, in Asia, you do this. Everywhere you should do that because you never know
right.
who your next friend will be. I got Chief Aruna, and this
Yes.
brother is the reason the vibe. It's a humble spirit, and he has a lot going on. But a lot of you want to look rich. This brother is on his path to real wealth. And he was just telling us things while even working his job. Yes, his job. He's hustling and flipping things. And I just love that. So welcome to the show, my bruv. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate being on here tonight. And then I hope that I could be able to inspire some of my folks out there, some of my brothers and sisters that I'm hoping that they will come and join us in Africa very soon in this investment journey and then changing the picture of the face of Africa.
Well, tell me this, because you're doing something that many Africans here in the States have told me there's no way you can run a business in Africa without you being there because everybody will chop your money. And you found trustworthy partners that you work with. You stated you talk to them daily, if not weekly. How I think training and finding the right business is something that is hurting people's mental. So how did you go about to get trustworthy partners? Did I just want to know, was there a secret formula that you can share?
Well, basically, the type of business I do, you see, for you to be able to run business in Africa, you need to identify the type of business first that you can basically run from overseas, that you don't need to be there, okay? Before I get to find the people that I'm actually working with, first, what I did was I've been trying to do all different type of business in terms of buying merchandise, taking it down there, selling, opening a shop, and do all these things moving forward. But unfortunately, it didn't work because some of these businesses that I wanted to do in the past, which was more of buying and selling, needed my attention there, and I wasn't there. And obviously, what you will find out when you go to Africa, number one, or you go to some certain places and you meet certain individuals, you want to run a business, they will certainly tell you that the business that they're interested in or their idea, it's not about what is actually going to be good for you. It's about what they want to do, something of interest of them. And then if you easily jump on that, basically, it's like you're jumping on their dream. It's not your dream. It's about what would you want to do. So I did try several of these business in the start, buying merchandise, taking it out there, leaving it with people. I did run up loss because sometimes it didn't go as planned, and people are basically telling you this story and that story. We've heard that. So, and then I started buying land. So when I started buying land, and it was easier for me because when I purchased the land, I make sure I got all my documents, and the land is there. Probably have a little like a little storage house where a gardener or somebody can stay. So I started doing that. So and then I basically decided that I wanted to build a complex in there where I would be able to run an Airbnb. So when I finished it, and then I registered it on Airbnb, and then I started running Airbnb. So and I had a guy there who I started working with. Basically, I started working with my uncle first, and then with my caretaker, started the whole Airbnb thing. So it started working for me. So this is something that I could basically run from here, because I've got everything set up there. I've got the cleaners there. I've got people that are looking after the property. So the only thing I needed was to make sure I register it on Airbnb, and then people can go there and book the property, and then basically they will pay online, or sometimes they pay on arrival. So which was easier. So what I did as well, I set up an account back home where if they pay cash in hand, then whoever they paid it to, they make sure they go and take it and put it into my account straight away. And then whatever commissions I will have to pay Airbnb or Booking.com, and then I make sure they get their commissions. Like Airbnb, they take their commissions straight away when once gets paid. But Booking.com is different from Africa, so it's like you will get the money firsthand, and then they will send you their invoice in about 2 to 3 weeks, and then you have to pay it into their account of the country that you actually have the property. It has to be, if it's in Gambia, then you have to pay it into their Booking.com account in Gambia with the invoice and everything. So I have been running that for the past 3 to 4 years now. And honestly, it's been going on successfully. I've been getting a lot of guests from the diaspora, a lot of Jamaican, Americans, and because there are a lot of Europeans go to Gambia as well. So I've been hosting a lot of Europeans as well. And at the moment, as we speak, I do have guests at the property as well. So, when I met this individual in Gambia, we started off as friends, and I know they had an ambition. And then obviously, because I go back home more frequently, and one thing I would say, it's always nice when you can speak the local language, so you can understand the individuals, and then they can understand you. And and then I try to make my business where people don't really have to handle money that much. Do you understand? They don't have to handle the physical cash that much. It's like most of the time, the guests do pay straight into my account. So the only thing I will get to speak to them is about the commission I will basically give them, or what they will be getting from whatever bookings or whatever I decided we agreed on for them to get. So basically, they're mainly focused on that. But they're not only focused on my, they got other stuff that they're doing for themselves, individual. So I try to make sure I partnership with somebody who's already got something going on for themselves, than just basically just relying only from what I'm bringing into the table. So I can say I've been lucky to have this kind of people that I deal with. It's never been easy. I do get hiccups here and there, but it's been really good and successful, and I'm still working on it.
Well, tell the people, because people will say, okay, you can speak the local language, even though, many Americans want to run to the Gambia because they say, oh, they speak English. And I said, well, the whole world can speak English, but wherever you go, there's always going to be some type of, even if you go to Ireland, right? There's Americans who they go there and say, I thought they spoke English and they were speaking Gaelic. And it's like, but this is for the world audience. So I want to include everyone, but give people your background, because you are tied in. You are a double sim, taught me that. It taught me that term. But tell people kind of your background so they can kind of see how you use your cultural background and your citizenships and maybe even residencies to make money.
Yep. So basically, I'm half Gambian, half Sierra Leonean. My father is a Gambian. My mother is a Sierra Leonean. So I have basically lived in both countries. I've schooled in both countries, and then I can speak most of the local languages in both countries as well. And because of I've schooled in both countries, I understand both countries, and I do go frequently, into these countries. That's how I manage to, be able to do most of these things out there. And so that's basically my background per se. So that's the reason why I have been able to, able to achieve some of these things that I've been able to achieve, because of I understand Gambia and Sierra Leone. I've lived there, I've schooled there, so it gives me the insight. So that's why when I think about doing something, I go to places that I understand and know more. So like you said, there are a lot of diasporans going into the Gambia and Sierra Leone and hoping to make a better life for themselves. Obviously, a lot of them are making a better life for themselves out there. I think it's a beautiful place to go, and there is a lot of potential out there, a lot and lot of potential. It's just that the pandemic has been a big pain in the ass for especially the Gambian economy and the Gambian government, because they rely on tourism big time. So because of that, a lot of struggling has been happening in the industry with the tourism and the lifestyle of the country as well. But hopefully once maybe that back up the tourism, go back into normal how it was, then the country was really picking up in 2019. If I can remember 2019, just before the 2020 New Year's, I had over 60 or 70 bookings, pre-arranged bookings for 2020. And then by March 2020, everybody just canceled. So the whole of 2020, I wasn't able to make money myself, and neither the tourism industry in Gambia. So that's pretty much it, really.
Now, when COVID hit and people stopped booking, I know, like my friends in New York who had many Airbnbs, everything just stopped. But for us in the States, the real problem is everything is credit, so people weren't owning the things. In Africa it's different. To have your property, you have to own it, so you were in a better position than many people around in the West, because you own these properties.
Yes, that's true. That's 100% true, because in Africa, mainly, yes, they do sort of mortgages and stuff like that. But I could say in Gambia, mainly 95% of people out there own their properties. 95% of people out there own their properties is either their family houses or their individual houses, or they inherit it from family, but mainly people own their properties out there. So I could say COVID hit me, but it didn't hit, it didn't hit me as much, because, I didn't have to pay no house rent. I didn't have to pay no bank mortgages or all this stuff. I probably have to be sorting out maybe the people that were working for me, maybe my staff, and in security. Those are the only thing I was really worried about. And, but with the housing finance and whatsoever, light bill and water bill, that wasn't really my issue, because obviously it runs on cash power in Gambia. So it's like whatever you put in, it's like a key service or something. And then the water is borehole, so I don't have to pay water bill. So like you said, yes, it didn't hit me that much, to be honest, when it comes to paying the house rent and paying all this sort of stuff that people in the West will go through. Like some people lost their properties because they couldn't afford to pay the mortgages and stuff.
Definitely. And here in the States, there were landlords who had 6 properties who were living in their car in the tri-states.
Wow.
Because the government, we had where people didn't have to pay their rent. And people are like, I have 6 properties and they don't have to pay me, but I have to pay the bank. So you always have to count your blessings no matter where you're at. So whether you're listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, our new partner at AYV Radio, that's African Young Voices right there in Freetown, Sierra Leone, be inspired, count your blessings, and keep pushing. Now, I have to know, because you had a good career in the UK, you still do. How crazy did people think you were to say, wait, you're going to go buy and build in Africa? And I'm this is why I'm asking, because when you put on your entrepreneur hat, very few entrepreneurs get the support that you get now that you've shown that you're successful. But because you did have a good career, people will also say, well, of course he can go do that. The man does music. He was a model. He's acted, and they'll it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. So how crazy did people think you were? And then, how much, how it is, African family, Black people around the world, until you win, then we applaud you once you win. But when you're doing the journey, there's no support, or very little support, I should say. I just love to know, for you to share with the audience how that worked for you.
Great question. I think in life in general, right? Whatever you're doing, people are not going to believe in your dreams or whatever you want to do. And then everything you're doing, it's going to be a sacrifice. It's going to be a trial, okay? Your main goal is to be successful at whatever you want to do. Either if it's building houses or buying a plot of land or moving somewhere, setting up a business. And just like I was talking to my sister earlier on, it's the same question that you've come up with, okay? People are always going to doubt your goals. People are always going to doubt what you want to do in your life. And then obviously, once they see the success out of it, and they'll be like, oh yeah, you've done it great and whatever, but you don't know how the struggle went. Obviously, it's about how much you want the thing for yourself, okay? How much you want to, what do you want to make out of yourself? Do you want to have properties to be able to employ people, to be able to give people a better life, or, to be able to create an employment and so on and so forth? Okay. I could have done most of those things here in the UK, but I choose Africa. You understand? I choose Gambia and Sierra Leone to go and invest my little change that I'm making over here. And obviously, it wasn't easy for me. So what I did was, when I went there, I didn't go straight start buying the expensive properties, the expensive plot of land. I looked for the area where the land prices were a bit cheaper, and buy them, because with development, if you want to go, you have to have a lot of money if you want to buy an expensive land in a well-developed area. So you try to go outside where there is less developed area, where you can buy a plot of land at a very good rate, and then along the years, the place get developed. Development obviously comes towards where you are, and then obviously the prices of that place goes up. So that is exactly what I did with all the properties that I have now. I make sure I try to buy it in a place. For example, if in the town center they're selling it for like maybe $10,000, I'll probably go somewhere I get it for about $2,000. And within a year or two, or within that 5 years, my property would have, my land would have worth about $5,000 to $10,000, because as the year goes, development comes and everything. So that's how I saw it. So I started investing slowly with all this low cost land. And at the moment, with the property that I've put into this land have become more expensive. So, I started investing slowly into those, and then, along the years. So now I've managed to achieve some of these, which I am still continuing to invest, and that, it's something never easy, because some will look at you, say, oh yeah, well, you're rich now. I mean, you got all this stuff, but they did not know how all of that came by. Do you understand? So it's all about perseverance, and know what you want, and know what you want to do with your life in general. Do you understand? So it's not an easy road. So if somebody from the diaspora, because I know mainly this program is about people who are coming from the diaspora, especially someone like yourself. because for me, as a Sierra Leonean and a Gambian, because of I speak the language, I know the countries, I've lived there, you know, there are one or two things that will be very easier for me to achieve or to be able to negotiate and stuff like that. You know, people that are coming from the diasporans who, like yourself, was just been granted your citizenship in Sierra Leone. I mean, you love the place. You wanna go out there. You wanna make a change. You wanna make a difference. Okay. My advice is that you need to visit there. You need to go there. You need to take your time. You know, go around the country, connect with the locals. Do you understand? Try to connect with the locals, understand what the needs of the locals, and then understand how the locals live their life. Do you understand? From there, I'm sure you will get idea of what you might want to do. Even if you have your idea from outside and you brought it in, you need to go and study to see like whether if this idea that I have, is it something that is going to work? Is it something that the people here are going to appreciate? Is it something that they're going to, jump into and make it actually work? Because whatever idea you take out there or you actually got from there is actually going to help the economy, it's going to help the locals, it's going to help people out there because you're coming with the development. Whatever you do out there is a development for the country. But you basically have to visit first. Visit, go out there, connect with the locals, spend some time there. Do you understand? And then, not just once, maybe once or twice, and then from there you will get to understand and know what you want. But what I can say is so difficult for one to have a successful business running in Africa while you're not there. It is very difficult. For me, I find the Airbnb much sufficient and manageable from my point of view. It's because I don't have to be there. You understand? I'm here doing my work, and then the Airbnb is running successfully because the bookings comes on my phone. Then I send them the details to whoever they have to meet in Gambia when they arrive, and then I call the person, tell them whatever guest is coming at this time, they will call you and blah blah blah. Meet them up at this certain place, take them to the property. Is that easy? So once they get there, they call me, are they there? I make sure I'm on the phone with them, make sure that they satisfy everything, the money's been paid, and then everything goes on easily. So that's how I get to do it. So that has been working successfully for me. But for some other stuff, it's definitely going to need you on the ground to do these things.
I also want you to share with the audience something you told us at the table. And it was like, yes, it's like, I know this guy is a master Monopoly player, but you said to take your 150,000 in the Gambia or Sierra Leone, well, you're going to make more money and it's going to be, it's going to be more pleasurable. Can you explain that to the audience?
All right. Great. So now, for example, $500,000. I have that in cash. All right. I would rather take that money to Africa, invest that 500,000. That will give me 5 to 10 times the profit of a property I will invest in London. Okay. Now, if I say I'm going to buy that property outright, $500,000 or £500,000 in London, and that property will bring me, let's say, 1,400 a month. 1,400 a month. You times that by 12. Do you understand? You probably get about 17, let's say below £20,000 every month. Okay. I will take that $500,000 to Africa or £500,000 to Sierra Leone or Gambia. That should be at least able to build me at least those 2-bedroom, at least 5 or 6 or minimum 10 2-bedroom complex. Okay, 2-bedroom, top-notch finished and everything with that amount of money. So I've got, let's say, for example, 8 2-bedroom apartments in Freetown or in Gambia. And if I want to rent these properties, for example, let's say I'm renting the 2-bedroom, each one of them for $5,000 a year. Okay, furnished and everything, $5,000 a year. So you do the math. Do you understand? So 2 of that, do you understand, will give you 10,000 4 of that will give you 20,000. So the 4 has given you the money that you will make on one of the houses here, and the rest 4 is just profit. So you make double the money that you will make here. Do you understand? You make double the money in Africa that you will make here. And then guess what? Those type of property, people always need them. 2 bedroom, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, because that's what people are like now in small families. They're not looking for mansions, bigger houses. If you have a mansion, it will take you a very long time to rent them in Africa. But 2 bedroom, 1 bedroom, maximum 3 bedroom, people are looking for this kind of accommodation in Africa. They want it. Do you understand? So it will go in if it's in a very good build and it's looking nice. It's like in a modern way. Definitely people will take it. There are entrepreneurs there. There are young family, probably a guy who's working at a bank. He wants to upgrade his life. He wants to live in a very nice 2-bedroom flat now. There are many other people who will take it from you. So you will make double of the money and the investment. And that house will cost even much more than the property in the UK here. Because if you have a 8-bedroom complex compound that will bring you $40,000 or $50,000 a year, I mean, that in Sierra Leone, that could, any parts in Sierra Leone or in Gambia, that will cost you, in price, it will go up to $1 million or even more, you understand? But you probably invest $400,000 or $500,000 to get that. You can actually, if you know how to do it right, you can actually get more properties with that money. If you know how to do it right, you could get more property. If you have good laborers that are working for you, you have good suppliers that are basically giving you things. And when it comes to building, for me, there is a strategy that I use in Africa that is easier for me. I get my supply beforehand. Do you understand? So what I did, I go first, I make a good relationship with whoever I'm buying my supplies from. Probably I buy once or twice. They know me now. They know where I'm building. They know that they're going to get their money. So what I will do, they will start crediting me in advance. Do you understand? So I will take 100 bags of cement and I'll say, you know what, I'll pay you by blah, blah, blah time. Probably before that time, I pay them. So we've created that trust. So whatever I need now is just a phone call away. Do you understand? So my project get to go faster, even though when I don't have the money. Do you understand? So my project goes faster. So this is the strategy I have been using, and it's been working for me.
It bothers me when I hear people say, that they don't have anybody to trust in Africa. That's why they don't go back home, because there's no one they can trust. You have found those relationships, and that's the key. You have found good people who want to continue doing work. Where those 2-bedroom or those 3-bedroom apartments that you have, can you tell the people how quickly they were built? And did you have to be there while they were building, or were you able to do it while being in London?
And I did all my building while I'm in the UK. Everything I did in Africa, I did it while I'm here. So basically, what I do sometimes when I go there, I find the contractor, okay, or whoever is going to be handling my building, and then I find the suppliers and everything. Probably the project may start in front of me, and then once the project, the other house I built, the project didn't start in front of me. So I had my uncle that was going there to supervise it, and then the contractor. And then we had an agreement. Luckily for me, I have met some contractors that they're very good. And then, they deliver on what they promise. I know a lot of people have met quite a few bad contractors where they will promise them certain things and then things have never been done. So I try to get good connections with the contractor, make sure I negotiate a good price with them, that they will be happy to do the work for me. And then what I do, I have other people as well that I know that are other contractors as well that they like sub. In case if anything goes wrong, or maybe me and the contractor fall out, I could simply call other contractors to come and take over from that and moving on. So they I've always been doing that. So that works for me. So with all the buildings that I did, I had the contractors. They come in, we negotiate the price, and then know how much I'm going to give them, how they're going to start the work, and then whatever they're going to need for the supply and whatever. So I have, one individual who I buy most of my building materials from, and he sells all type of building materials. So sometimes what I do, I buy things in advance as well. I normally buy building materials in advance. So I pay for them, and then I just have them there. So once the work is going on, they just go and pick it up from the suppliers and then bring it. And then mostly what I do, if I have the physical cash, because sometimes people might not have the physical cash to do certain things, but sometimes I wait until I have probably 50 or 60% of the money that I want to do something. Then I go and buy mostly the finishing of the property, because when it comes to housing, the finishing is one of the most expensive things. So I try to buy mostly the finishing, and then put it, and because the prices might go up, so I just put it and then it sits there. So whenever I need it, it's just a matter for me to go and take it and bring it, and then they fix it. So what I'll be thinking about now, after I've bought the finishing, is about how to pay the contractor, and then how to be buying the cement and sand. Those are like my main focus. But when it comes to the iron rods and other things, I have already bought them. So it's all about taking and fixing. So that's the way it works for me. So it's never easy to have a trustworthy someone out there, but you can definitely do have somebody trustworthy to work with in Africa that can get your job done. Do you understand? It is possible, and obviously there are estate, really trustworthy estate agents, like estate housing building project agents out there who can help you achieve some of this stuff. Do you understand? But and obviously if you can go out there as well to spend some time there, it's obviously an experience for yourself to be there and watch your project. There are some of these projects that you'll be embarking on. You yourself have to get yourself into the field and dirty yourself to get your job done. It's nothing easy. It might sound easy from the way I'm saying it now, but it's never easy. But it's achievable. It's definitely, you can achieve it. Do you understand?
It's not about being easy, but it is achievable. But you have to put in the effort and stop making excuses.
Exactly.
And that's where your success has come in. There are no excuses, just mission. Let's complete the mission. With your successes that you've had, and the best is yet to come, I truly believe that for you. What is a community give back that you are doing or that you plan to do in the future?
Well, for me right now, obviously, if I was going to go back home, continue doing the Airbnb and the booking.com, obviously I was going to scale my business. And then obviously I'm going to employ more people to do the room servicing, maybe a chef that will be doing breakfast and other stuff. So obviously I'm going to employ staff. I'm going to employ people. I'm going to be getting people on wages as well. So that is one way I'm going to be helping the community. And then obviously there has to be somebody that's around the community that can benefit from it as well. And these are things that I'm definitely going to do. Scaling my Airbnb business in the Gambia, and then start a project in Sierra Leone as well, where the same Airbnb is going to run there. So as we speak right now, I'm trying to put some projects together whereby I want to come up with a production, something that has to employ, create jobs for more people out there in Africa, where it can be anything. It can be a production of producing stuff. It can be a little warehouse that will be running, quite certain businesses that people can I can be able to employ people, so people can work. Because for me, it's all about. I personally don't believe in doing everything alone, because in this life, what I understand is that you have to get a partner. You have to get people to work with. To understand, trustworthy people who basically are have the same ambitions like yourself, or have the same dream, or basically have a dream, wants to do something out of with their life. So this is what I believe, that it's always nice to work with people that have ambitions and have dreams. So and you can't do everything by yourself. It's not possible. You must have somebody to work with. You understand? A partnership or somebody to help you scale your business. So and obviously it's not easy to get this type of people, but when you do have a good person, just hold on to them tight. So at least they can scale your business, make your dream come true and their dream come true as well. So thinking about, helping the community back home, obviously, for where I'm from and where I've got my properties, if there is a project that comes around the neighborhood that we have to do something, even sometimes when I go there, I bring up suggestion. Okay, what can we do to make this look better or to make that look better? You understand? Or it can benefit all of us. So, sometimes they do call me over here and then I do give my own financial assist to make sure things are done. So whenever I go out there, I do make suggestions to them as well that what we can do to better our community and our environment. And that has been working successfully for us.
Wow, this is good game you guys are getting, whether you are listening, with the majority of you are listening, and those YouTube numbers are coming up, and everywhere else this goes out. We thank God for this. Let people know where they can contact you. Let the people know also if you ever have a plan for maybe like a book where you talk about your experience, but also have it be like a guide to say, this is what I did. And as of right now, you could do the same. Maybe you share contacts. I'm just, I'm thinking because, you also have an entertainment background when you guys go on his Instagram and you see the abs, you got to work for the abs, right? That no one gives it to you, but let them know. So whether they are inspired by the business or by the abs in the workout, how can they get in contact with you?
Well, I'm on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. It's the same name. It's Tyrone the Prince, TYROON DA Prince, PRINC, Tyrone the Prince. So that's my social media handle. So you can add me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, TikTok. I'm on all the social media platforms. So my advice is to people, especially in the diaspora, is that I understand. I am at the diaspora myself. Okay, it is stressful out here. Do you understand? It is definitely stressful. And the weather is not helping, number one. The weather will keep you indoors all the time. And then you find yourself stuck to your phone. Your phone is like, the TV and your phone is your best friend. Do you understand? And when I'm in Africa, or, especially when I'm in Africa, I don't really go on my phone as much because there are people around me to interact with, to talk to. Imagine that day when we were sitting at Bintu Mani Hotel. I mean, you can hardly get that here in Europe, where people can just come next to you straight away, and then you started talking, eating together, and then vibing, just talking, not being on social media or being on the phone. We were having a real conversation, enjoying ourselves at the same time, having a great dinner. So that is what I like so much about being in Africa, where you're going to be dealing with people directly. You're going to be connecting to people. You're going to be connecting to the nature. You're going to be connecting. You feel belong. If you understand what I mean, you feel belong. You feel like you can come out, walk outside your door, and then your neighbor could say, "Hey, hi, Tyrone, you okay?" So I don't get that here. I don't even know my neighbor. I've been living around with them for 10 years. I don't even know their name. I don't even know what they do for a living. Do you understand? So it's different out there. Do you understand? Even if you don't want to speak to people, people will speak to you. They see you come out the street and they want to talk to you. They want to interact with you. Just that alone makes you feel alive, makes you feel like you belong. So I can say, diasporans that are out there, I know you guys love Africa. You guys want to go to Africa. Please go check out Africa. The feeling that you will get, your stress level is going to go so down that you can't even imagine. Do you understand? There's a lot of opportunity out there. You have more opportunity to change more lives out there in Africa than even to change in America or in England. Do you understand? So with your little change that you have here, it will go a long way there for you. It will definitely go a long way there for you. right now in England, I don't know. I don't think if the property I have in Africa, if I had them in England, I'm a multimillionaire. Do you understand? And you know, I've got an 8 bedroom mansion. How can I get an 8 bedroom mansion in London or any part of England? You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. That's crazy. Do you understand? An 8 bedroom mansion with $150,000 or $200,000, you'll be able to get that in Africa. But you cannot get that in America or in England either with the amount of money.
Yes. Well, you guys, I'm going to tell, like I always tell you guys, probably the best conversations happen offline. But for time's sake, I thank you for the game. We thank you. If you guys do nothing else, make sure you share this with somebody. It will change their life. It will change our lives. With unity, we all win. You guys be blessed.
Hi everyone. Have you ever been curious about visiting Africa? Which African country were you interested in? Kenya, Nigeria, Uganda, South Africa, Ethiopia? Which country are you interested in? My good friend, Kellen Cash Coleman, came up with a course called My First Trip to Africa that'll guide you through this process. It's only $20, and in this course you'll learn about passports, visas, vaccinations that you need before you go there, as well as a budget, how much the trip is going to cost. He also talks about what you should pack, what you should take with you, how you should travel on a budget. Did you know that $100 is worth 1,000 South African rand and over 10,000 Kenyan shillings? So imagine what you can do with $100 back home. I say back home because I'm from Sudan, I'm African, I already know how it's like. I know that, you know, when you convert Canadian and American money, it goes a long way when you're traveling across Africa. So if you're curious, if Africa is a place that you've always wanted to go, always wanted to move there, Kellen Cash is the person to ask. Check out the course. There's a little preview you can listen to before you actually purchase it. If you're interested in this course, visit www.diversifiedgame.com. Don't miss out.